Thanks for coming over, this is Amodeus, and today's Dungeon Hunter champion is long awaited. It is the Water Sniper Kestrel. So, finally got her leveled up, finally got her skilled up. For the most part, I could still, I think, use 2 more tutor puffs to get her up, but we'll get those this month, no worries. Or this next month, no worries. So, man, I am super excited about this champion. It is so strong on so many different areas of the game that it's a little bit insane. Now, I will tell you, if you look at her right now, she's built on a very high crit rate build. And I did this because this is really the testing Kestrel that I've been doing. And what I found out is that Kestrel does not need this much crit rate. Because her skills are, or rather her AI is using her skills accurately and efficiently, she basically has a crit bonus up all of the time. So I think on either Laundry Day or... if I just think I can tweak it with enough gold, I think I'm going to rebuild her with about 55, with plus 55% crit rate. Because, like, if you look at Snipe, which is her first skill, she shoots an enemy with a bullet, and if they're marked, the attack has a 50% more chance to crit. So every 1 second damage from the skill ignores 100% of defense. That's huge. Long Shot doesn't have a crit bonus, but it is still a massive damage dealer. Cloaking Field is the skill that she uses most consistently and most often, and that's the one that gives her the attack buff and the crit rate buff, and as well as haste and regeneration while she's hidden. So in 5v5 she runs away and then comes back with a vengeance. But in raids, that also means that she has a lot of crit built into her. So if I can get her to 70%, that'll be amazing, because that other 30% from that buff that's almost always up will be huge. Now the last skill basically is just a massive damage dealer. It is just huge. She crouches in a stationary position for 10 seconds while crouched. This skill can be reactivated up to 5 times, firing piercing energy bolts in a direction, damaging all enemies struck. Now, one of the cool things about this is that you get 4 seconds back on the cooldown whenever you don't use a bullet. And then, of course, she does have that 40% attack buff in raid bosses, which is pretty sweet. So here you can see we built her on very high crit rate with the exclusion of almost all other stats. And we went attack, crit damage, attack. And like I said, I really think we could go heavy attack, heavy crit damage, and get a better use out of her in the raids. But even in the raids right now, she's insane. Let's look at a couple. A pretty free-to-play team if you have Kestrel, right? I'll try to focus on that for right now. And basically, this is, you know, a pretty straightforward Steel Widow 10 team, right? Because you got Water Magic Girl, Light Archangel, you have Rona, and then you have Amodeus, and then you have a DPS unit. In this particular instance, it's Kestrel. Now, one thing I do want to call out about Kestrel is that on this team, you notice there's no mark. Now, that's because her first skill gets a plus 50% crit rate bonus if the target is marked. But with as high a crit rate as she has, unfortunately, we're not really utilizing that aspect of her skill set, which is, once again, why I think we need to drop her crit rate down quite a bit. Because if you just teamed her up with, like, a Snake Girl, Washi, Aelia, the Dark Bee, the Dark Dryad even, because they mark, she'll just get a plus 50% crit rate on her auto attack. So we're not using that just because her crit rate is so high as it is. So, man, Laundry Day, I don't know if I can wait that long, because I really think just dumping an insane amount of crit damage into a couple of pieces and then leaving her at 55 would be huge. But I mean, look at this. I mean, she's amazing, just cutting through Steel Widow, and it's really kind of crazy to have such a safe, secure team and have it be able to run these under a minute. Rona still beating her. Let's do that again. I know Kestrel can beat Rona. Because you know what the problem is, there's just not enough enemies, right? Rona just wants to kill everything. She does. She just wants to kill everything. And Kestrel's more of a take your time, single target damage dealer. So sometimes you got Rona stealing kills from her. But I will be honest, like, I was really impressed And just look at the crit bonus on Kestrel. Just watch the crit bonus. Look how on Adept, of course, and Skilled Up. Look how consistent that crit rate bonus is up. Man. Yeah, look, it has not been up this entire match. Her AI is really good for activating that second skill as much as possible. And of course, with skill cooldown, having that constantly up means that like you only need 55% crit rate, rather plus 55% crit rate on her to get her to 100% almost all of the time. Man, that is just insane to me. But when we're testing her out, you know, you want to test her out with other units that are very like her, right? Oh, see, I told you she could beat Rona. So if you don't want to, watch a bunch of Nat 5s take on Steel Widow in a sub 50-second raid run, I would stop watching this video right now because we got to have a little fun. We finally got the sniper. We got to put her up against some other amazing OP champs. Now, every champ on here is amazing in and of their own right, but I will tell you, Kestrel is the lead. They all get a plus 44% attack buff, basically, and because we have the marks in place, Kestrel will be 100% crit rate all of the time, no matter what. And I am not going to lie. I want to know who's going to do the most damage running this run, because this is just sick, man. This is literally the best DPS champions I have in my box. Built the best possible way to deal consistent damage, all high crit rate, all high crit damage. And I know it's so weird because you're like, oh, well, there's a 3-star all the way up to a 5-star. But it doesn't. Rona's just OP. So she definitely deserves to be on this roster. Man, that's the new best time. Or no, that is my best time. 47 seconds. That is my best time. Look at, yeah, it's tied, yeah. Different team configuration. I think I had Manus on the previous team. But look at this. Kestrel just comes out of the gate and dominates. Just dominates. And I don't know. I am super thrilled with her. But there's so many other places to test her because I want to build her over in OH. But I just don't think she's going to be as good in OH if I don't have her built the right way with like crit damage and lowering that crit rate.